Hello everybody, and welcome back to East. We find ourselves in Zepik Village once again. We are slowly but surely heading out towards the shrine. We have all the necessary items that we're going to need in order to get in there now, so that's kind of our next stop. But I just wanted to talk to a very few select number of people in Zepik Village. I went ahead and I talked to a few people off screen just to see if any of them had anything interesting to say. Because I think for the most part, we've talked to most people and we've sort of gotten the scoop as to what's going on around here. We've spoken to Jebba, we've spoken to the mayor, we did that side quest with Luta. So, just a couple of extra things here. We're going to talk to a few people outdoors. Old Man Curvo here will tell us about the Thieves, and that their leader is actually apparently a really great man. Once when I was under attack, he came to my aid, saved my life he did. So these thieves that are stealing things maybe aren't so bad after all, which is kind of strange. A strange old woman named Jebba lives in this village. When I was young, she told me all about the history of Asteria. Long ago, this was a bigger, lovelier country, ruled by two goddesses. A little bit of lore there, and if I can find the last guy... There is somebody in this village that mentions a little something else about our strange guy with the cape running around. I can't see him right now, but there is a villager here that basically says that the guy with the cape that was apparently stealing things in Mania has been seen in this area, and that he headed north because that's the only direction one can head. We seen this area in the last video. We fought a few of the monsters and just talked a little bit about this shrine area and whatnot. But what we're going to do instead is we're going to go east of the shrine, and this is going to bring us out towards the Thieves' hideout. And we're going to speak to the Thieves about the silver bell, because apparently the silver bell was stolen by the thieves, and the mayor would very, very much like it back. So this is the leader, let's talk to him. You're either brave or stupid, kid. Why have you come here? Don't tell me you actually came here to hunt us down all by yourself. I didn't, actually. What do you mean we're rampaging through the city, stealing everybody's silver? That's some kind of joke? I assure you, sir, it is not. You've got it all wrong, kid. Believe it or not, there really is honor among thieves. We only steal from those who make their money by the blood and sweat of honest workers. If it's stolen silver you're after, look around you. Not a trace of it here. All of ours was stolen too. If we ever find the culprit, he's gonna pay dearly, you could be sure of that. So again, more stolen silver stuff. A lot of the stuff stolen from Mania was silver. And apparently they don't have it either, so not quite sure where all this silver is going, who's stealing it, or what it's going to be used for, so that's kind of interesting. And if you keep talking to him, it's obviously of no use. He says he doesn't have it, and it doesn't look like he does. We're even free to rummage through his stuff if we really want to prove it to ourselves. But he is actually telling the truth. And then if you try to negotiate with him, it doesn't go very far either. Who told you that we stole the silver bell? I'm afraid you're misinformed. We know how important the silver bell is to the people of Zepik. Stealing that would break the villagers' hearts, and that's something we would never do. You can see that some of these chests are completely emptied out. And it looks like they're kind of a band of thieves with no goods, so that's sort of interesting. And once you talk to the leader, you can talk to his two lackeys. If you try to talk to them earlier, they will have nothing to say to you, so Lugan here is just telling us that that damned bandit keeps turning up in the weirdest of places. Asteria is not a big country, there are only so many places one can hide, so why the hell is he so hard to catch? I wonder if he's talking about the guy in the cape. The armed tower is swarming with monsters. Some are even equipped with swords and armor. It's sickening. If I were to go in there, I think I'd probably just let muscle impulses take over and try not to think. And then finally, there is a passage with a mysterious looking door here, but it's not going to budge, and that's not something we're going to be able to do anything with right now, but I just wanted to point that out, because of course that's going to play in a little bit later. Completely optional to talk to the thieves, but you want to do that if you're planning on filling up your notebook, and just to kind of get a little bit more insight. Apparently the thieves don't even know what's going on, so that's kind of a testament as to how very little a lot of these people know about what's going on around them. And now that that is all said and done with, we can enter Solomon Shrine. Now obviously to get in here, you're going to need Sarah's crystal, and you're going to need the shrine key that we got from Jebba. The crystal will allow you to actually enter the shrine itself. It'll light up this rightmost statue. You walk into it and it will teleport you in. When you arrive, you can go to the right, and there is a chest here for you to pick up. This is a ruby. This is an item that we can sell to him for a little bit of extra cash. And if you want to right now, you can go and sell that to him if you want to pick up any extra item or equipment or anything like that. And then now what we need to do is make our way over to the actual entrance of the shrine, which is as far west as you can go. And here is the door. If you have the shrine key, you'll be able to enter. A couple of things before we enter though, is you are going to be getting into a boss battle. Be absolutely 100% certain that you're ready before you enter. A few things about bosses in this game is that it's essentially a fight to the death. Once you get in there, you're locked in, you're not able to leave, you're not allowed to use any sort of items in battle, so no healing items or any sort of other items that would teleport you out of the battle or freeze the enemy. None of that funny stuff. It's mano a mano, and you basically have to come out on top, so it's kind of the real deal. You have to be pretty careful about what you do. I definitely 100% recommend making a save just before you go in, because if you do lose, you can just reload without having to worry about being stuck in the boss battle or losing a whole bunch of progress. I'm going to talk a bit about the strategy with the boss, of course, once we get in through the door, but just a quick note is that armor is not going to help you in this battle. The boss seems to have like a set damage amount regardless of how much armor you're wearing. So if you're struggling and you're taking a lot of damage, what I would recommend instead is upgrading your weapon. If you're using the short sword at this point, get rid of it. Use the long sword. It will help you a whole heck of a lot. We don't really have a lot of money to get the upgraded sword above the long sword, so you're kind of stuck with that at the moment, but that is really going to help you quite significantly. And the other thing that you can do, of course, is grind if that is really sort of your last resort. We're level 5 right now, we have the long sword, and so I think we're in a pretty good spot here. Now that I've talked about the boss, let's actually see what's up with this boss. So for our first boss battle, this one's sort of a doozy. This isn't really necessarily a battle against the boss itself. It's more or less a battle against the environment. You really have to try and dodge the flames while trying to attack this guy, and the flames are really the deadly part about this. Now, this boss has about 100 HP, and depending on your level, he's gonna go down really easily or with a lot of difficulty. As you can see there, it took 3 hits, level 5, with the long sword, playing on normal difficulty. That's pretty damn good. If you're level 4 with the long sword, it's going to take longer, and if you're using the short sword, it's going to take even longer. So just keep that in mind when you're fighting that guy. And then once he dies, we can go ahead and we can enter the shrine. You can also save your game here before you go ahead and go through the depths. And if you have the bestiary potion, if you've found that and you've drunk it, you can then also take a look at the monster's stats. It'll automatically be added to your monster book. So that's just a little bit more detailed information about that boss. Didn't really get a chance to talk much about him because I whooped his butt really hard, but I do assure you that if you are going into this at a lower level or on a higher difficulty, that is going to seem a lot more difficult than what I made it look like. And if I hadn't done all that grinding, I would have, you know, really had to sort of struggle with that. So now we're free to move on, finally, into our first dungeon, and we are going to do that in the next video. I think I'll save it though, just because if I start now, we're not going to get very far, and there's not really a whole lot of point in that. But no more goofing around, no more doing side quests, no more money gathering, no more talking to people, no more town hopping. We're just going to get down to the bread and the butter of this game, which is actually adventuring, believe it or not. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching. I hope that I will also be seeing you next time.